Hi, welcome back. This is Frequency Intuitive. Happy New Year. I'm posting this, I think, on Jan 1st or Jan 2nd of 2026, depending on when it gets uploaded. And this is my first collective reading. I have done one personal reading in my new place that I just moved into. So I feel like it's fresh energy, fresh vibes. I have a couple new decks that I got as gifts, so I'm very excited to do this reading today for you. So this is a little bit of a different reading topic. I've never heard of this before. Maybe it's out there. But basically, this is a reading for people who have been watching readings and not able to find their messages or not resonating with anything, because that's been happening for me recently. Just sometimes I go on and off on watching different readers and stuff that I'm subscribed to, and I've just been like, scrolling or clicking on my normal channels and just nothing's resonating. And now this is no shade to the many thousands of talented, amazing, gifted readers out there at all. This is just something unusual that I found, because I know that when we are aligned with our messages, we find it. So we're kind of going to like shift in and out of having resonance with different readers. You'll probably find that yourself on my channel. Sometimes it'll resonate, sometimes it won't. But I just thought, wouldn't it be interesting if I tried to do a reading to basically capture any messages that are out in the field, that for those who have been experiencing that phenomenon like I have, where just nothing is feeling like it's what I'm looking for. It's hard to explain. And now, of course, I'm going to suggest and encourage that we always go within. This is not to say you're not finding what you're looking for, so keep searching for your messages, because we can all just meditate, tune in, and if we're able to receive our own guidance and messages, we don't need an intermediary. You don't need me. I always say that, or anybody else. But sometimes it's helpful to hear the messages or activations said back to us from an outside perspective. It's easier to ground that information in when it's not arising from within. Sometimes it's just helpful for encouragement, to buoy up an idea we have, or kind of get like cheered on about something that we're looking to have a little bit more energy or momentum behind. And so that's what this reading is for any of you who have been kind of scrolling, not feeling that you're hearing or kind of finding exactly what you're looking for. I'm going to ask that we gather those kind of loose end messages here that may be kind of floating in the ether, and that they would come through here for whoever aligns with this. Obviously, I'm not going to capture every message ever that wasn't captured here. Now, you may not find your message here either. Like, I can't, there's no guarantee. I haven't filmed this. I'm just saying I'm going to do my best. If you've been experiencing that phenomenon, or if you just felt drawn to this reading and want to listen for whatever messages come through, absolutely, you're welcome here for that as well. So for this purpose, I've picked this new deck, which is the Inner Temple. I think it's Rebecca Campbell. And so the reason why I picked my new deck is because I haven't used this either very much. I just used it in the one personal reading, like I mentioned. So I'm not familiar with these cards either. So I kind of like that mystery. I don't have any knowledge of them. I don't have any backstory. I am going to read from the guidebook just for the main card to see what they kind of represent and what messages come through, and then continue to conduct the reading from that point. So I'm very excited for this. It just feels like new and unusual and mysterious and like fresh energy here. That's what I sense. So let's find out. So pile one, let's find out what you're drawn to. So for pile one, we have this tall poppy card with this red crystal. Pile two is the Ceremony of Life card and the rose quartz crystal. Pile three is this beautiful Darkest Night card and the black onyx and opal crystal. Charm, I guess it is. Charm with crystals. And pile four, the golden thread with this unusual crystal that I don't know what it is either. So I'm very excited for this. You can watch all of the piles if you want, or whichever one you're drawn to. Take your time, and when you are ready, I will see you in your group. Hello, pile one, and welcome to your reading. I made it here. I started filming at noon, and it is almost 7 p.m., and every interference has tried to interfere with you. So we made it. This is happening. First, I filmed pile 3, 4, then 2. Originally, I started filming you guys first at noon, and that got interfered. And so I ditched that footage because I was only 5 minutes in, and there was too much background noise from something going on outside. And now I'm starting with you again. I'm ending with you. So let's begin. We shall prevail, tall poppy pile. Let's start with your message from this beautiful book. What is this called? The Tall Poppy. I'm so curious what this means. All right. The tale of the tall poppy says that the poppy that rises highest in the field will be cut down. This card appears when someone is called to be visible in the world and soar to greater heights than before. Yet, I'm even trying to fight off hiccups right now. Yet, they may feel daunted by the size of the call and fear negative reactions, criticism, and envy from people around them. Shame is a tool used by the patriarchy to keep us captive. So refuse to feel ashamed, refuse to take up less space, refuse to be bound or dimmed. If you live in a way that attempts to appease everyone, your medicine will be wasted. Well, that's powerful. Oof, your presence being a vital note in the great orchestra of life. Reach high and rise like the tallest poppy in the field, for this is your destiny. If fear or shame or confusion or grief come, do whatever you need to move this through your body. Dance, sing, shake, scream, walk, run, talk to a trusted one. Don't let any part of your soul leave. Your light is needed here. Inner temple activation. I refuse to take up less space or dim my light in accordance with others' opinions. I allow the potency of my truth and my light to occupy each and every cell, and I take up the entire room unapologetically. For some reason, I was drawn to this is 81, page 81, 80 and 81. That could be meaningful to you, like birth year or your age, or your, I was going to say your birth date, but yeah, birth year. All right. Frequency friends, let's get into it. So if you've come here, there's a chance that just nothing has been resonating with you when you've been watching other readings and so forth. And there's a message trying to come through, and I'm trying to gather them here. I don't know why I'm repeating myself. So let's start with this healing. Maybe you skipped the intro. Maybe that's why. This Healing Waters Oracle, which is another new deck for me. I literally feel like I've been through the ringer here. I feel like you feel possibly the same, because I feel you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's been a journey. And you may have felt cut down, or like someone was trying to cut you down, or you're being cut down. You may feel called to be seen. You may be currently have pulled back your energy out of fear or shame of something that happened. You may be just worried or hesitant about being seen for those reasons. Those are all messages that I'm getting so far. Your name could definitely be Poppy, or you could have an ancestor named Poppy, or you could resonate with poppies for some reason, maybe regarding Remembrance Day or something like this with the veterans. You could be a veteran. Okay. Sorry, what pile are we in? Pile 1. Okay, so messages for pile 1 that's trying to reach them and in a way that they can hear and that would really resonate for them, their soul, their path. Oh, Atlantis. Okay, I didn't know this was in here. Okay, I see. Atlantis. Keep the big vision and stay in alignment as you grow. I'm also going to get another one from this deck. I'm feeling called to that for sure. Stay in alignment as you grow. Oh, that's so interesting because this is about growing into the tallest poppy in the field. Keep the big vision. I wonder, have you felt like you had to cut back your original plan or vision for yourself because of circumstance or because of things people are saying, or like I said, because of any of those reasons that we talked about in the reading from the book. And this is the message coming through, is encouraging you. Now hold on a second. Keep the big vision. Do not discard. Do not cut it back. Do not trim it. Remain flexible, but don't pull it back. Don't shrink. Don't shrink. And also stay in alignment as you grow. Now, I struggle with this. I'm in alignment, and then when that little crunchy, tense thing comes up that I get challenged by, that I know is for my growth, I just fall right out of alignment for, 5 to 10 minutes or days. No, I'm kidding. Sometimes days, actually. Do I? I don't know. Probably. That's probably happened. But I guess you just realign. It's a constant realignment. I think you have to be thrown out of alignment somewhat temporarily when you experience contrast. But I don't think it has to be such a degree that you would say you're out of alignment, more than just like a blip. I don't know. I'm just musings of the soul. Okay, next. Tell me what you think about that. I don't really have a fully formed opinion about that. I'm just kind of just considering that. That's just my own thought. That has nothing to do with it. That's not a message coming through. That's a message just from my brain. Okay. More messages for Pile 1, please. What is this reading about? I mean, it very clearly came out right away. That one didn't want to go back in. Oh. Qu'est-ce que c'est? Okay, so I have not got one of these cards before. It's like the Shadow and Light, the Destiny Life, and the Faded Life. Let's read. I'm all about reading from this book. If you're new here, you might be like, this girl reads from the book. Like, what type of reading is this? But if you're not new here, you know I never read from the book. So this is like a new thing because I just feel called to. I have no other explanation for it than that. I just feel like there's certain words and phrases that you need to hear that are already been channeled and written in here. So we might as well make use of our resources. Okay, so the Destiny Life is this. Which way did it come out? Now I don't know. Destiny Life, the soul path, the dream of your soul, trusting the call within, life purpose, courage will be rewarded, listening to yourself. Okay, this is so in alignment with this reading. Daring and passionate, what's true for you. The Faded Life is the safe option, doing the right thing, doing the expected thing, external influences, listening to the opinions of others, what other people want. Now that's interesting because I don't think we would all resonate with those phrases because I've heard Destiny Life and Faded Life explained quite differently, and I probably wouldn't have explained it that way. I would have used a different word maybe for faded, like expected life or identity or ego life or something, you know what I mean? Like just the one that you kind of take on with your identity. Because I thought faded was more like there's certain things fated to happen, like that your soul kind of planned out, and then there's other things that your bigger destiny that are like more flexible. That's kind of how I had heard it, but for the purposes of just the point of what this means, because it's very, very valid. Well, let's just not get caught up in those two words because I think that might throw some people off because it's throwing me off a little bit. Which part of the card is right side up? Which meaning is calling to you most? How can you bring both parts' meanings into balance? So the Faded Life is the expected life, the one that's most likely the one that you'll live in if external circumstances direct you. It's the one you'll live if you believe what society, people, and systems say you are. And if you do what they say you should do. The Faded Life is a safe life, but in living it, I mean, can we say it's safe? It's very challenging either way. But in living it, you may find that there's music still in you that longs to be expressed, or a feeling of, is this all there is? The Destiny Life is the life that the soul dreams of. It requires listening to and trusting the wild and daring call within. It takes courage to live the Destiny Life, for it requires that you trust yourself above all else. Truth. It requires you to truly live. With courage come reward and fulfillment. The Destiny Life is the one you live when you choose to live consciously, to trust and follow the voice within, rather than heed the noise and influences outside of you. I've done quite a few readings with this topic, so you may have also heard a reading from me with that topic. That theme comes up a lot. You have a decision to make. Do you choose the Faded Life or the Destiny Life? Do you choose the safe option or the courageous one that makes you come alive? Okay. So I mean, it's very clear your message. It's come out in 3 different ways here. Allowing yourself to grow tall, to be seen. staying in alignment as you grow, keeping this big vision, this big dream that you have. And do you choose this destiny life over this fated life? Now, I feel like most of you have chosen the destiny life in thought and in heart, but I don't know if you've stepped into it yet, because that's a whole other can of beans and worms combined. But I don't think anyone would actively say they would choose the fated life, but you may have in action chosen it just by, you know, circumstance so far type thing. You dig? So we're going to leave the destiny life up. So what's the message about this? What do we need to know? Because I'm pretty sure you would say, I hear you, I feel called, yes, I know exactly what this is about. But, then what else? Like, what else? We're kind of just telling you, I'm kind of just reflecting back to you a state and awareness that you probably already have within. So, let's get this. Oh. Okay, we're not getting that because I tried to pick it up and like half of it stayed there. So let's try again. What should we do? This is the strangest reading I've ever done. Okay, let's get this. Not this one, but this whole video. I just remembered the cards that came out for you the first time I did this. One was woman holding a heart, and one was the sixth chakra, your third eye chakra. I just felt like mentioning that. And the woman holding a heart, it was like bright red. That's why I'm thinking of it. And I also felt that it was so about being vulnerable and really showing yourself. That's the message that came through. It just wants to come out here again about like literally wearing your heart on your sleeve. Not so much about romance, but that could be a part of it. But just more like saying, this is me, like this is who I am, this is what I'm about. Very much in alignment with what came out here again. I had only pulled those cards. Yeah, round and round, and it's interesting. It's another a water kind of image here with the shell, and you have this Atlantis. So you could resonate with Atlantis energy, or concepts, or I don't know what you want to call that, like genre of Atlantis. This is card 25, or you could just be very drawn to water or water sign. But this round and round with the fated life. So yeah, I feel like, this is a big message. This is a big message. I think you know what I'm about to say. At some point, you gotta make that move, because if you've identified that you want to live the destiny life and you're currently in this expected life and you know what you're being called to and how you want to grow and shine and stand out, and you know that that's in alignment with your soul, you're intuitively getting these downloads, there is going to be a point that you're going to have to exert some amount of effort to exit the momentum that is created in this expected life, because they're showing me a merry-go-round. And the thing is, the merry-go-round, once it's going, or a hamster wheel, but I use that all the time, the merry-go-round, once it's going, you're pulled to, I think it's what, centrifugal force. You're pulled to the nucleus of that, and it's once the momentum's going, it's very hard to get off the merry-go-round. But you can, but it does require concentrated focus and effort. And I think that's what your message is. It's about, when is that time to step off? How could we get that message? I would like to know. Let's use this deck. Or it's confirming for you that the time is now or near. And I think you know what that would entail. That could entail leaving a job that's not fulfilling, leaving a relationship that's not fulfilling, leaving or in alignment. Let's not even say fulfilling. Leaving a job that's not in alignment. Let's not even say leaving. Moving towards a job that is in alignment, or a passion or purpose or work. Moving towards a relationship that is in alignment. Moving towards a location geographically, or a new home, or a new group of friends or tribe that is in alignment. And I think you know what that would require to release, because when we're moving towards something, often not everything comes with us. So this could be the message that you've been looking for. That's why you haven't been resonating, because those ones maybe weren't pinpointing that the time is very soon. Because otherwise, actually, I'm gonna, wait, am I? Yeah, I'm gonna get a Moonology card and see if we can get any time. Oh, that's too much. I feel like that's too much. That's like 7 cards. These 2 though. Okay, Moonology card and see if we can get any specific timing. Okay, so you have here a message to pass on. Okay, bro, that's what I'm doing. And a message of freedom. Woo! That right there. That right there. Okay, so that's just confirmation. Your guides are like, we have a message to pass on. Now, do you have a message to pass on to somebody? Like, are you being called to speak and use your voice and express? That could also be what it's saying. And message of freedom, this is telling you this is your freedom. Yes, it's going to be scary. Yes, it's going to require effort and some specific steps. But aligned effort won't feel the same as not aligned effort. Aligned effort will feel like movement forward and excitement and interest. It won't feel exhausting and heavy. Maybe at times. Because we dip in and out of alignment in the day, right? Just depends where you're at. Okay, can we get any messages on timing? Like, just curious. Because I can see exactly what's going on here. If you're not resonating with this and you don't know what I'm talking about, then you've probably clicked off already. Otherwise, I feel like who's remaining is like, yes, can we get any information on timing? Because we all want to know. When do I leave? How do I know? Or not leave. When do I move towards my dream, this vision? When do I start this thing? When do I take this next step? Because you may already be somewhat into this. Oh, I see why there was so much interference with me getting to your pile, because this is very like call to action energy. And so sometimes there's interference with that because it's very like, this is about to shift whole timelines forward if you take that, and that affects the consciousness of everybody in the planet. And sometimes there's interference with those type of big movements in the field. You tried, but you didn't succeed. Not you. I'm speaking to the interference. Okay, sorry, I was asking a question. What? I was having a full-on conversation with my guides about that. What can we get for timing? And I apologize for just the awkwardness of this reading. It just is that all piles have been like that. Just fully awkward. Okay, so we got adjustments are required. Okay, we know that. 3rd quarter moon. Adjustments are required. Okay, so for sure I would say begin movement, and there's some maybe adjustments in your plan or thinking. Because remember I said don't cut it back. Because the adjustment may be to make your vision bigger. That may be the adjustment. Adjustment doesn't mean smaller. Adjustment is just flexible, or this could be a shift in your perspective about your plan. Like maybe you're like, okay, like you might be very like, maybe your earth energy and you're just like, I was going to say maybe your air energy too. That's what I'm going to say. And you may be like, okay, this is my 30 to 5 year plan. And I kind of get, for some reason, this is like not time sensitive, because I don't ever believe in that. I don't believe you can miss your train. You can't miss your path. It'll just find, like, it'll just keep expanding. Like there's billions of ways we can fulfill our purpose. There's billions of timelines. So I don't believe that, but there is an encouragement that this could occur sooner than you maybe were thinking or planning, and also that it could occur in a different way than maybe you originally planned. Like to remain very flexible is what I'm getting, but I do want one more of those cards. Try again. Try again. I heard 3 to 5, like 3 to 5 months for some of you. But it's really up to you. Like it really depends when you put this into play. But if you were waiting on like what is the time, I'm getting like they're saying whenever you want to go, whenever you want to step off the merry-go-round, we're ready. Yes, there's divine timing and things like that. But I do feel like you're very like at the driver's wheel here. Like you can choose when you feel most in alignment, when your inner state feels most stable to move on this, whatever this is. Whatever this move is, to move on whatever this move is towards whatever this is about. I gave those as examples previously. I'm going to take both those. Oh, okay, you're very close to achieving your goal, gibbous moon. And you got, okay, new moon in Cancer. So that would, you and your loved ones are safe. Okay. And you got, I was going to say you got the Cancer crab. Okay, so you could be Cancer, or this could be, that's the only timing one we got besides like the next gibbous, the next third quarter, but those are very like general. That could be any month. You did get new moon in Cancer. If you very much want like a timeline, I don't think you could really go wrong, but that would be what, like July. I don't know the exact dates of Cancer, right? But that would be July-ish, maybe late June, because then we're into Leo. And before that, we're in Gemini, so it's got to be in there somewhere. But that could be, does that sound like something? Does that sound like a plausible timeline to some of you? If not, that's okay. You make up your own timeline. I'm just giving you the cards. I'm giving you what the cards are giving you. Okay, what else can we get for you here? What else do we need to know? Pile one. I don't know why I'm putting the cards like that, but there's like one card that wants to go directly here. Okay, I keep being drawn to this. Let me just get it already. Oh, also that. I see two. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry. Don't mind my internal dialogue. That becomes external sometimes. Pile one. What else do they need to know about this action towards their destiny life? Yeah, I'm just being drawn to these two cards. Message to pass on, message of freedom. That just came in real hot. It's quite possible that for some of you, once you make this shift once you're off the merry-go-round, and you only take this if it resonates. You'll either know this now, you would have suspected this or already got this download, or you'll get this later again. So if you don't remember it, it's fine. I'm just going to put it in the field and take it when you're ready. That once you're off the merry-go-round, part of your life path and purpose and joy will be assisting others in getting off the merry-go-round. You feel me? We need more guides. We need more guides. Actually, I wonder if I should do that because I got off the merry-go-round. I'm on this merry-go-round now and it's beautiful. But I was on that merry-go-round and it was painful. And anyways, I'll talk about it with myself later. But we need more guides because that is not an easy transition to make out of like the matrix constructed dynamic paradigm of crystallized heaviness. That's a tough transition for a lot of people to make, especially certain generations, depending on when you spawned here, on the earth. It can be heavier, dense energies depending on because my daughter's like, she doesn't even know what I'm talking about when I say the Matrix. She's 11. So it's like not the Matrix, the movie, but like she doesn't understand the construct because she's only seen me doing this. So she's like, what do you mean? So I have to tell her, in the olden days, I would work 80 hours and drive 4 hours to and from work, and then I would go to another job, and I never looked in my internal world because I didn't have the time. It was hustle, grind, just to pay my money. It was, I have to tell her, it's an old-timey story. Okay, can we just focus here? But that would be part of your life's path, is assisting others and getting off that merry-go-round, whether it's through a platform like YouTube or Patreon or whatever the other platforms are, or some sort of support or spiritual, advice or guidance and things like this. because there's a lot of practical logistical things that come into that it's kind of like hard to define. Like, it's like, how did you get to the other side? Like, how did you pay your bills? How did you transition? How did you make, like, and sometimes you just need someone to say, this is how it went for me, and it'll look different for you, but this is how I managed that. So for part of you, that's part of your path. Once you make it out, you may have already and you may be like, oh, that's the nugget. That's what, like, you couldn't maybe pinpoint what you were being called to do. And then when I said that, you're like, that is what it was. That's part of what I've been called to, that I couldn't really put my finger on. Okay, can we just get one card from this deck so I can stop shuffling? Thank you. Oh, you got, the Wild Rose. Not shocked. Not shocked. Do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness untamed. Your name could be Rose. Or something about wild roses. Maybe you grow wild roses or something. Or do it your way. Embrace your uniqueness untamed. Yeah, like, it could not be more. This reading is so in alignment. It's just like keeps repeating the same, reassuring, and backing up in a million different ways the message. I think I'm going to wrap it up because I feel like I'm kind of spiraling a little bit in the same, we're on a merry-go-round of this reading where I'm just kind of telling you the same thing over and over. I think you know what you need to do. I think you already know. You've probably clicked off already. You already have the vision. You know what your destiny life is. You know your purpose. You feel maybe confirmed to move on whatever action you need to take towards this life soon. And this was just another further confirmation. Maybe there was a specific nugget in there that you needed, but I did want to get that one deck. They just reminded me of this Astro deck. Final message for pile 1 about something. If there's anything else I'm missing, just do a sweep and give me the last little tickety-tockety, biggity-bockety. Maybe something's on TikTok, because I just randomly said that. That's the most bizarre phrase I've ever uttered. Did I just say tickety-tockety, big bibbity-bobbity? What is going on? I feel like I'm in outer space during this video. If you want to laugh, like, not laugh, because pile 3 was very not humorous. It was very serious. But if you want to laugh, watch 2 and 4 at the absolute mayhem that ensued. And I will only know when I watch this back if I will even post this, because right now I feel like I have failed all of you, and this is the most obtuse, unhelpful, confusing reading I've ever done in my life. That's how I feel. But I also know I've never approached this type of energy. That's why I wanted to do it. It was a challenge for me. So I'm hoping that the people who would hear what I'm saying in this way found the message. Otherwise, the comment section is going to be brutal for me, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. So pile 1, final message. Ooh, just trying to get out. There, I see you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if you didn't already know, you will be met with opposition. I'm sorry to tell you, but this is just the reality. When your energy is being your energy, as lovely and beautiful and bright as it shines, the hater's going to hate. I don't know, what is that about? It is opposing energy. And it just, like, even this fated life, destiny life, it's showing opposing. And like the tall poppy card said, the tallest poppy, people try to cut it down. I suppose it's coming out to say, just be prepared and, handle it with as much grace as you can and stand your ground. But you're definitely going to be met with opposition. So I feel like it's more helpful to be prepared for that. No, don't expect it, because, people can really surprise you, and don't expect it to be difficult. I'm not getting that. Because when you're in your alignment and your truth and your power, you can't be dissuaded. So it's really like a non-factor. It's not like an equal opposition. Let's be clear. It's not an equal opposing force. It just is an opposing force. It's not an equal opposing force. That's the distinction that they want me to make. It's like a freight train going, and then, a trolley comes by and is like, well, I want this track and I want to go the other way. And the trolley tries to tow, the freight train. And the freight train's like, I didn't even know that you had attached yourself to the back of my caboose and you're trying to pull the other way. But the trolley train was still trying. It was still opposing. It just wasn't doing anything. It had no effect. So I don't think the opposition is going to have any effect on you. I think it's just better to be prepared, and I think you are, that it does take courage, like the tall poppy card said. It takes courage because people will confront and oppose and question your decisions, and you're just like, what, like, this is my life. But people will do that, and they'll say, why would you do this? Sounds crazy. Why are you leaving me? Guilt trip. And trying to possibly point out all of the ways that this isn't going to work. That's very common. And you have to just be rooted in your knowing. Think of when you were a child. They're showing me, because they're showing me as a child. You could not, like, I was so stubborn in the best way. Like, once I got, and I guess I'm still like that, but I don't know if it comes up as much because I kind of just do my own thing now. So I don't have as much opposition. Well, I don't know why I'm saying that, as I had like full on opposition today. But anyways, but when I was a child and someone would be like, you can't climb that, that gave me the actual energy. Do you remember that feeling? Like if I was out playing with other kids and one kid said, you can't climb to the top of that, you're not big enough, or whatever. I felt so much fuel in my soul to do it anyway, not to prove them wrong, but I was just like so excited to have the opposition so that we could all be in awe when I achieved it. Like this one time, they're showing me this most bizarre examples. This one time, my daughter got her new like kite. We like got a kite from the store, like I think it was like Disney Princess or something. She was very small, like 4 or 5. It of course got stuck in a tree immediately, and excuse me, I was just alone with her at the park, and she was like, really upset, and she wanted it down, and I was like, there's just no way, like this tree is so tall, I have no ladder, and even if I did, how would you put that up in the tree? Like it was just an absolute, out of reach situation. But that little kid energy in me, I was like, what if I could get it? Like, what if by some strange occurrence I can somehow get, like, wouldn't we would both be so happy and celebrating? So I told her, we're going to get this, I'm going to do my best to get this out of the tree, but I have a plan. We went back to the house where they had been doing like construction work and they had scaffolding, and I fashioned together these long metal poles, guys. I mean, long stick. Like, I want to say it was 50 to 75 feet long, and I taped it together with duct tape. It was like these lightweight metal poles that they were using for construction, like scaffolding, but they were just like leaning in the garage on the floor. And her and I fashioned them together, and we carried it like a freaking, what's that thing? A joist, like the knights with the joist, back down my street to the park, looking absolutely ludicrous to try to get this out of the tree. And then everyone came over, like people walking their dogs, people like we didn't even know these people were around. Everyone came out of the woodwork to tell us how this wasn't going to work. Oh, you got your kite stuck in the tree. Da, 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 da. Oh, well, I could try to get that, but you're not going to get that with that. There's no way. That's not long enough. That's too heavy. The tape's going to break. But like it somehow buoyed us all up because we also all wanted to get this kite out of the tree. And we just kept, like, we wanted it to defy logic and like work. And people were like, let me try it. Everyone was trying, and it was like this community experience. And eventually I was like, okay, let me try one more time. Some people had wandered away because it really wasn't working. And eventually, somehow, some angle that I just kind of like threw it up there and like caught it, and it knocked the kite together with the wind, somehow like blew it out at the same time as I kind of knocked it up off the top of the tree from below. And everyone was so excited. It was like a cheer went up. I just remembering this now. It was like wild. And my daughter was so overjoyed, not because of the kite, because let me tell you, friends, we never played with that kite again. We never did. We never did. It was from the dollar store, so it wasn't a big deal. But it was one of those plastic, like cheap ones. But but it was the memory of us persevering and not giving up and using the opposition and the challenge that other people were like, politely like, guys, that's not going to work, and like kind of like laughing at us, not in a mean way. Like we were laughing with them, like, yeah, I know this is really looks ridiculous, but I used it. It was like a fire in my belly. Like, I will do this because this will be so cool once I achieve this, and I will feel so like powerful that I can achieve anything if I can do this. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys. That's the energy I would harness for this opposition card. Your reading has come to a close. Thank you so much for being here. I absolutely enjoyed this immensely, and I'm so excited and happy for you. If you want to share this thing, whatever this is that you're pursuing and moving towards and stepping into, feel free. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and we all support each other. And if not, no worries. Thank you so much for being here. Anyway, if you're going to another group, I will see you there shortly. And if not, I will see you in another reading on another day. Bye. Hi, pile 3. You chose the Ceremony of Life card and the Rose Quartz Crystal. And let's start by reading from the book for you and find out what message is trying to reach you that you may just not have come across yet and nothing's been resonating. And let's see if we can find out what your kind of soul is looking for. Maybe we can have it come through here. This is a card of devotion, of weaving the sacred all, like way to make that less cool than it was. Let's start again. The Ceremony of Life. This is a card of devotion, of weaving the sacred all the way in and through your life. It's a card of sacred ceremony and integration. You're being asked, how can you make your life a ceremony? If you were to live in prayer, what would change? What if you saw it all as a sacred celebration? If you could devote your life to something, what would it be? What would you do? The invitation of this card is to design your life in a way that feels sacred, to dare to embrace all aspects of your life and let spirit be with you in every moment. So many people on the spiritual path lead lives that are compartmentalized. They go and do their spiritual practice, then go about their everyday lives. But what if you made your whole life a celebration of the sacred? What if you found ways to bring the spiritual into the physical? What would change? How would you spend your time? Another invitation of this card is to let your life be an expression of your passions. What do you love doing that you could embrace even more? If you really woke up to the gift of this life, how would you spend your days? If you acknowledged that you only have a limited amount of time here, what would you do? What would you create? How would you love? Who would you embrace? What do you truly yearn to do while you're in this body on this planet? What will you do while you're here? Inner temple activation. I choose to embrace my life and live fully while I have the privilege of being here. Wow. That's a lot, but it's also very general. It's kind of like the humans, the path of the human that we're all kind of trying to move towards. I just felt called to get you guys these cards. Now, I have like a lot of anxiety in the pit of my stomach. This sometimes comes through with certain groups. Like I feel nauseous or sick. Like I'm super worried about something or stressed over something. What messages can come through for pile 2? Okay, well, those kind of like just casually flipped off. I didn't really feel like... You know what I'm saying? They were just like, bleh. Okay, card 11, Regeneration with Pluto, Black Tourmaline. Card 20 with Direction. Okay, that makes sense. Super 7 with the Alrisha Star. And card 8 with Aquamarine. Intuition with the water element. I mean, a lot was said in that book, and I get that. I just feel like it's so general. Like I don't see why you wouldn't have been able to get that somewhere else. Direction, regeneration, intuition. Let's keep going because I'm not getting a heck of a lot. Besides, like, obviously all of the all of the things. Oh, let's get you this other new deck, this Healing Waters deck. Yeah, like I just feel like there's a missing kind of piece or element. Like I feel like you understand this concept, you agree, there's no issue there, you know, integrate. Life should be, you know, a walking prayer, la da da. It's just, I don't know, it doesn't feel like what you're here for. Sorry, I just got so distracted. Okay, let's take these two. Okay, you got Cosmic Ocean, Current Dreams, Future Realities, New Beginnings. Okay, that could have to do with this Direction card. The Pearl, Alchemy, the Reward at the End, From Grit to Grace. Okay, that could have to do with the Regeneration. The Pink Dolphin. Okay, yeah, Celebration, Fun, Unbridled Joy, Open Heart. I feel like this is like a through the storm, after the storm energy. Like I feel like, are you going through something or went through something? Like you have a before, like a current reality, then you have this dream that's like the next new beginning that you're moving into, but you're not sure of your direction. You know that this is transforming. You know that it's going to require some sort of grit, like it says, an alchemy to get through it. You're being encouraged in the Ceremony of Life card about this play, because even this figure's like kind of kicking up the water and dancing. Intuition is intuition. Intuition is always there, but what is the message though? This just seems so basic. Like this is a typical basic standard spread. So in piles 3 and 4 that I already filmed, because for some reason I felt to film 3, 4, then 2, and then I'm going to do 1 last. They were very like hard to understand, and like I really understood why the message hadn't come through just in a regular card reading that that I would usually do and that most readers do. Like we just tune in and there's always a lot of information at the forefront that we can grab, that like the collective, these were like I had like a flashlight and I'm searching through the darkness and like eventually it appeared. But this one is opposite. This one is so clear and like up front. I'm not buying it. I feel like it's like trying to I feel like the reading is masking itself. Like, oh, this is about you have a dream and your direction and life is a sacred dance and you'll get through this. Try and have some fun. But like, it's like, what? Why would that can't be? You would have heard that already 1,000 times, even from me. That's a very standard, common, because we're all here. Like this is like I said, this is the normal human struggle or path that we're all. So this theme comes up frequently in readings in different ways. So that can't be what you haven't been able to find. That's probably what you've been finding that you're not resonating with, because it's like not enough, or it's not quite right, or I just feel called to get you one of these surrender cards. I feel like these really like cut through the bull sometimes. Not that any of this is bull, but it's just, how can I explain this? I do think you know what I'm saying. Oh, they're so far. I'm gonna go get them. One moment. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's what we got here. Oh, wow. So a lot of cards came out that have not. Now, this anxiety is making a lot more sense, actually, because now that these cards came up. Okay, so we had surrender negative thinking coming up, which is also very standard and kind of annoying. Surrender, although it's true, surrender the idea you can fix someone. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. Surrender low self-esteem. I'm going to read the cards. Okay, let's read all these. So first, surrender negative thinking. You have control over your thoughts. When negative thoughts surface, say thank you for sharing and quickly refocus on positive affirmations. I feel like we're still in the realm of we've heard this all before. Okay, surrender low self-esteem. You deserve success, love, and abundance. Set an intention to identify and release any remnants of low self-esteem. As if it's that easy to set an intention. I feel like I'm chirping myself, like, as a reader. Surrender the idea you can fix someone. It's time for a relationship to shift. It doesn't work to try to fix someone, okay? Each person must be accountable for his or her own healing. Okay, so, but like, what are we trying to get at here? What is the nitty gritty? I feel like this is very like, what is this like? Like the wizard behind the veil. Have you been kind of playing like a role or something? Like I feel like you're, like everything's fine. Which we all do. So like I'm not like judging you or saying like don't do that. I'm saying I just feel like that's what feel like that's what you're growing weary of. But I feel like inside you're struggling to Because how interesting that you have alchemy, the reward at the end from grit to grace, but then you have surrender the idea you can fix someone. Because someone could take that as, if I just get through this relationship with this person, it'll be good. But then the next card's like, no. It's like they're going to have to move at their own pace and speed. This is wild. It's like, I feel like I want to give up on the reading. But I don't want to do that to you. Like, of course, you won't know if I do that because you wouldn't see this because I would just reshoot the pile. But I feel like, yeah, this from grit to grace, the reward at the end. Okay, that I get because oftentimes there's very difficult spreads. Even though this one is like, it's easy, but it would be easy in a normal reading to read this. But this is not a normal reading. This is the reading about getting to the bottom of something that is not obvious, and finding, and I know that there's something underneath this. And then you have this pearl card with the from grit to grace, and that often happens in a reading where it's not making sense or it feels like heavy or tedious energy, and then by the time I sort through them and we get to that pearl at the end of the reading, it's like so worth it because I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, it's about this, it's about that. So that's what I feel like is going on with you and also this reading. But I feel like you're kind of you're going through a time in your life that's been, I would guess, for a period of time, very challenging. It could be because of an individual or a circumstance or a combination of the two or more than one thing. I feel like it's giving you this anxiety and just discomfort and stress. And I feel like part of you knows it's going to be a new beginning. It's going to be over at some point. But I feel like you feel like you're just not doing a good job of navigating this. Like this negative thinking and the low self-esteem. I definitely don't think you're having that much fun here. This pink dolphin, celebration, fun, unbridled joy, open heart. I feel like you're like, good Lord. Like, how much longer is this going to go on? And is it even worth it to get to this new reality, this new dream? And like, this new dream is getting very fuzzy and faded, and I don't even really know the direction I'm heading anymore. Like, I think you initially, okay, we're getting to it now. We're getting to it now. We went a layer down. We went sub-level. I feel like you initially felt initiated or compelled out of a situation. It could be a relationship, a job, or something because of an initial pull towards something else. Like you were like, oh, I would rather be, whatever, this, and that, and I want my job to look like this, and I want to be my own boss, and so I'm going to leave this job, or this relationship is not working for me, and this seems so much better, and this is how I envision my life and my partnership. Or your house, your environment, you're like, this is leaking and this is driving me crazy. I'm going to start looking for a new place. And then somewhere in the middle, so you initially had a vision of where you were being called. And then somewhere in the middle, you're like in the wastelands. You can no longer really clearly see your vision because it's quite possible it's shifted or changed. So now you don't even really know what the point was of trying to find the new home or job or relationship, but you're also already removed enough from what you're leaving that you can't really go back, nor do you want to. Like, you can't really reopen that door because you're like, I already know what's there and I know that's not good for me, but I also now don't know where I'm going. Does that feel like what's going on here? That, I feel like, is the direction thing. So I feel like you're kind of swirling in this not great place. Like, you don't feel great. You feel, like I said, the low self-esteem. You probably feel unworthy, like I don't think you would consciously say I'm not deserving of love and abundance, but I feel like you're like, I'm not getting it, so clearly I'm doing something wrong. Like, period. That's how you feel. Like, you just think that's the indication of that. And then there's probably some negative thought patterns going on. You're probably, inner critic is running wild with this. Like, fodder for the negative ego. I'm not sure what the idea that you can fix someone thing is, except for, like I said, there might be someone involved in this who you're expending a lot of energy trying to get to see your point or defending, or like we do, right? The pink dolphin is just standing out like a sore thumb to me. And the regeneration. Let's get more cards for you. Everyone else so far, I've only got like a very small amount of cards, which was frustrating me. But here I feel the opposite. I feel like we need way more information. Let's get this. I'll tell you something. My anxiety that I was feeling from you guys has released substantially. I don't know why. Is it something that I said, or is it just feeling seen and understood? Sometimes that's enough, right? For someone to quantify and define and express, this is what you're feeling, this is what's going on. And that's very natural. I believe my own guides will call me, and my own soul will call me out of something with a kind of like extreme situation. And then they're like, just kidding, that was like, that wasn't really it. But we knew you wouldn't leave for anything else. Does that make sense? Like, I have so many examples, but they're also embarrassing for me, so I don't want to tell you that. But okay, let me think of one that's, I told this one before. I think you get what I'm saying. I don't think we need an example here. So I feel like that's what's going on for you. You were like, okay, this is a really bad example, but it's like you're like a cute little mouse, and your inner being's trying to call you out of, the trap or something with some cheese, and then you get halfway out, and all of a sudden you see that the cheese was plastic, or it was like, fake, and you're like, what the heck? And then you're like kind of out of the trap, but you're like, there's no more cheese. It's evaporated. Wow, I use cheese as an analogy in pile, or a metaphor in pile 4 also. Are you from there? We had an extensive cheese string analogy, if you can believe it. But yeah, the cheese we're here in this reading. The cheese is present. Leave a cheese emoji if you feel me. If not, you've probably clicked off because you're like, what a ludicrous reading. But I am going with this. I've fully committed because this is absurd. These readings are like, I can tell it's like energy I've never read before. So I apologize, and also I'm here for you during this cheese maze. But it's like that, and then your inner being's like, just kidding, you were actually coming out for like, this bok choy, and you're like, bok choy? Like, what even is that? And I don't even know if I want it, and I was coming out for cheese. And now you're like in the middle, like, I don't know if I want to go towards bok choy, like what? Like, you're just, so I feel like you're like, I don't feel like you're frozen, but maybe you're kind of frozen a little in fear and uncertainty, but also you're still moving forward because you're just like, okay, I want to get away from this mouse trap. Like, thank God I got, out of that. But at the same time, I'm now tired, exhausted, emotionally traumatized, and just down on myself. And I've lost myself a little bit, and I don't even feel like I have the time or energy to like recenter or stabilize because I'm just trying to keep my head above water. That's what I'm getting here. Receiving elation. Why are they trying to push this infinite joy on us? Pink dolphin, celebration, fun, unbridled joy, open heart. Okay, so is this like an awakening situation? Like, is this going to be like a quantum jump situation? Because this seems an extreme shift that our guides are trying to. I'm like, I'm involved here now. Our guides are pushing this on us. They're pushing the bok choy. The pink dolphin, celebration, fun, unbridled joy, open heart, and then you got I am born of infinite joy. Okay, I'm gonna put those together. So what? Like, how would you achieve that? How would one achieve that? Asking for a friend. Let's get another one. Like, you're all of a sudden just in this fight or flight, and then the infinite joy comes upon you. I mean, I know that can happen in a spontaneous awakening, but it could just be in my most positive frequency, I would say this could be as simple as a perspective change, yada yada. But I just can't do that to y'all. Like, it's true, but it's not so, it's very accessible. It's just hard to see. Look at the limiting beliefs coming out of my mouth. But I know you hear what I'm saying. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it. But it actually is that easy. It's just, it is, but it isn't. Can we let go to such an extent? Can we let go to the level of delusion required to experience infinite joy amongst all pain? 2 cards came out, and let me get them. Oh my gosh. Oh, this came out in pile 3. I don't know if you're from there. It's possible. It's a similar vibe, but not as heavy. So we got untangling neglect. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. Okay, I get that with the low self-esteem. And releasing expectations. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. Okay, that's helpful to know in this case. I did not like this card in pile 3. Until later when I understood it. Oh, I'm going to turn this over. But I love how this reading, I'm just realizing, I love how this reading's about you not resonating with other readings, and then I give a bok choy cheese mouse analogy as if I expect people are going to resonate with that. But we are just here communicating the messages and trusting that it will make sense to one soul. Okay. So, I get that. I feel did someone do a number on you mentally? I feel like you're emotionally, mentally traumatized. I'm so sorry if that's the case. I feel like you're just like really down on yourself. And the message coming through here, as outlandish as it seems, is this celebration, fun, unbridled joy, open heart. Like, can you just somehow crack out of it? But like, how would you do that? Of course, you could think more positively and have a positive expectation and see the glass half full and find the silver lining. Of course, all of those things will help, but I feel like there's something more particular to you. I feel like those are all general things. I feel like there's something more particular to you that would shift this. You know what? Let's get one of these. The initial cards. I just had the one. Let's get this Inner Temple deck. For pile 2, please. How would they do that? I get what the message is, but I'm with the viewer on this. Like, I'm like, how do you want me to shift from that to this? Just like where's the connector? How is the question. How would one do that? How would one move up the ladder in such a manner, the emotional ladder, relatively quickly? Or, I mean, there's no rush here, I suppose. It's not saying to do it quickly. It's just reminding you, perhaps, you're born of infinite joy, unbridled joy, open your heart, fun, bring the fun back in life. This, what the initial card read about making your life a moving prayer and, integrating and kind of like, enjoying the journey, enjoying the ride. But like, again, I don't know. Is it just because messages have been said so many times that they lose their impact? What can help pile 2 here that they can particularly hear and resonate with? I heard do it for yourself, but who else would you do it for? But it does say something about, where did it say? I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. So perhaps you are looking outside of yourself a little bit for approval, even though you don't mean to. You may be like, Let me take that one. Ooh, hello, Chamber of Power. I'm reading that. I'm reading it. I'm sorry, I'm reading the book twice. I never read the book. If you're new here, I never read from the guidebooks. But for some reason, this reading, like, it's all coming up. This is a group effort. Me and Rebecca Campbell are channeling your messages. Chamber of Power. The Chamber of Power is an... Oh, okay. See... They don't play. This is everything we need to know. Okay, listen up. The Chamber of Power is an invitation to cultivate your inner strength, confidence, and trust in yourself. To believe that you have the right to be here, to occupy your life, to invite your sacred soul to come all the way in. Yes, you're here for a reason, and your body is your sacred vehicle. Choose to occupy and cultivate your sacred power. You were born with it, and it's yours to own. Within you, you have everything you need to do whatever you're called to do. You hold the keys to your inner power. Yeah, this is giving that like do it for yourself phrase I heard. There's nothing you need to be other than who you already are. So often we learn to dim our light or water down our power in order to accommodate others or to fit in, but you didn't come here to fit in. No person did. So no matter what body is yours or what gifts you possess, no person is more worthy of power than you. And you're no more worthy of power than any other. Power isn't a finite resource we can stand tall together. For too long, we've learned to turn against each other. Preach! To compete, shrink, or conquer others. We put others on a pedestal or attempt to stand higher than them in order to own our strength and our gifts, which I don't think you've done that. I feel like it's the opposite. You hold the keys to your inner power, and you can open that door deep within right now. If you were feeling empowered, what would you say or do? Yeah, this is about... regeneration. Like I said, this is you finding your crown again, but it's like in a way that's so for you. Like you may have done this before where you're like, I'm going to get into shape and I'm going to get, this, like my face card on 10 and I'm going to eat, and I'm not trying to make fun of those things. There's nothing wrong with those things. You do you. Like it's all part of it and it's all important. I just feel like you went about it in a different way in past. Because it was more about proving something but also feeling good. Like you knew it would make you feel good, but the motivation behind it was, I think, a little bit more... Sorry, I just wanted to make sure we were filming here. A little more about proving other people's wrong and this and that. But this time I feel like it's more this... just soft, gentle desire to reconnect with yourself and to explore yourself at that level. Who are you? How do you want to express? What's the life you want to lead? Discovering yourself when you're not deluded with low self-esteem, negative self-talk, and other people's projections. I don't exactly know the how, my friend. That's really not coming up. It just says, like own this, or it's time to cultivate it. It's like a call to action. But like I said, you may be feeling very weary, so you may be like, this is the last thing I can take on right now. But maybe it's just a little seed to plant in your mind at this point. Or maybe you're almost through the tunnel and you're like, yeah, this is what I need. I need to just remember the joy of life and the joy that is innate within me and my own inner power, and that I don't need any other external things to feel how I want to feel in the moment to achieve this state of being. From grit to grace is definitely how I would title your reading. Yes, it's about new beginnings. Yes, it's about regeneration and transformation. Yes, it's about seeking and finding your own joy and recovering from this storm. But it's more about this card. Like, it's a new level. If you have a second to look at this image, it's a new level of alignment. It's a new level of power. It's a new level of, like, and power in the sense of your own ability to manifest and embody the life that you want, etc., etc. It's a new level of self-embodiment. Like I said, you may have been through this before, and the height of satisfaction that you reached then, it will be quite different from this one. This is just going to feel and be different. And I think that the reason you're finding this message and that nothing's resonating is because that's the piece that you're looking for, that your inner being's trying to guide you to, is that yes, you're going through this transformation, but this one is just very unique and different. It's going to feel different. It's going to look different. It's going to reach a different level. And I'm saying different because, and not like new or higher, because it's not about like doing more or achieving more at all. It might be the opposite. It might be doing less and unraveling layers of expectation. It's about just an authenticity and like it's allowing the you to come out that I don't think knew was there. And for sure other people didn't. It's just this authenticity. And I just see people like, when you get, if you're a crystal person, when you get a crystal, like a new crystal, or you see one and you're like, oh, like we've seen the rose quartz, we've seen the tourmaline, we've seen, the clear quartz, we've seen the aquamarines, and there ain't nothing wrong with those. They're beautiful. They're, like I said, they're standard, they're necessary, they're essential, they're needed, but then you see that one like crystal that's just like so unique that you never see again, that you've never come across, and you're just like, oh, this is just something else. Like, what is this? That's the you that I feel like is coming forth. And I feel like you're getting this message because your inner being is trying to like kind of identify that for you a little bit and say like, aim you towards your target a little bit more, in case you were veering off a little bit into the past way you did this. Like, you've got the, the eating, you're trying to get the eating on point, and you're trying to get and like I said, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's included, that will follow, like it follows. But it's something about just reminding you that this is just a new level of inner transformation and discovery. And again, I wish I knew the how that was going to happen, but it's going to be so unique for each of you. But I would definitely recommend and start with just your own meditation and journaling practice as a basic, and like some time in nature for sure as like cornerstones if you don't already have your practice, and then let it build naturally from there. It could go off in a million directions from there. It could go into sound healing, it could go into therapy, it could go into writing, automatic writing, it could go into dance expression, like it could go into like a billion different ways from there for your unique expression. Okay, thank you so much for being here. I hope that this helped and you found your messages. If it did resonate and you want to comment or like, share, subscribe, thank you so much. I appreciate that. If not, no worries. If you did feel drawn to another group, I will see you there shortly. And if not, I will see you in another reading on another day. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. Thank you so much for being here. You chose the Darkest Night card and the black onyx crystal. And I'm going to read from the guidebook to start. Actually, did I say Pile 3? You're Pile 3, but I'm filming you first. I felt really drawn to film you first. What is this? The Darkest Night. So let's see why that is. No, it's going to be awkward when I can't find the thing. Here it is, the page. Okay, so this reads, some glamorize the spiritual awakening process, implying that it's all light and love, expanding highs, unity, consciousness, deep peace, ecstatic bliss, and spiritual visions. One thing's for certain, those people probably haven't been through the dark night of the soul. This is a time of deep initiation for the soul. After the expansion caused at earlier stages of the awakening journey, we're invited to descend into what's hidden in the shadows, inherited, pushed down, silenced, ignored, or bypassed. We're called to go deeper than we ever have before, as we welcome more and more of our soul here into our body and onto the planet. As we do, we discover the lost parts of ourselves that demand to be held and seen. And those parts ask that we sit with them as they feel in order to heal. These are the excruciating holy days of rebirth, of transfiguration, of dying and being reborn while still fully living. If we choose to cross this threshold, we're invited to allow our soul to come more fully into our body and the planet. This can be painful as we're forced to confront any separation or shadows we find along the way. We must face the polarity and separation of this human life, as well as the joy and sweetness. These are initiatory times. The only way out is through. If you let life initiate you, you'll be transformed anew. This is a powerful card of rebirth and transformation. Cloaked in the darkest night, seemingly separated from the divine we once so deeply knew, we're invited to find the sacred that is all around us, below us, and within us. And it says, Soul Inquiry, how is life currently trying to initiate you? Wow, that's very powerful. So let's begin and find out what message is trying to reach you that, I don't even know how to word that like that. You just haven't been resonating for some reason with anything else. I kind of see why already, because if you're drawn to this card, it feels like you're going through something very isolating, that can be isolating, that maybe a lot of people don't understand, maybe a path that you're walking alone for a little bit, like you see this figure here. Maybe you feel like you're in the night, like you're in the dark, a dark time in your life. And so I can see how, because sometimes as readers, we want to, make sure it's positive and happy and you're getting something that you feel good leaving. But sometimes I think we just need that reassurance that we're not alone, that we feel understood and seen. I feel drawn to get this deck for you. Like even myself, my physical body, I feel very cold. Like my feet feel icy. I feel a little bit like exposed, like I'm sitting outside, even though I'm obviously inside. So you may have kind of just been feeling out of sorts, out of comfort in your own world. Things that used to bring you comfort might not be. What can we tell group 3 that they need to hear? This deck feels very cold, so I don't think we're going to get anything here. There's just an unusual tone to this pile, which I understand why I was called to do it first, because there is like I want to say heaviness, but it's not like a heaviness. It's just an intensity, but also a nothingness. So if that resonates for you, like I don't even feel called to any of the decks besides that one. You know what? Let's stick with the same deck then and see if anything comes out here. Oh, that one I think really wanted to come out. Oh, Chamber of Forgiveness. Did something happen that kind of spurred on this darkness? Even though this is tricky energy because I don't want to kind of imply that you have to move through this quickly. Do you know what I mean? Or that, like, I don't want to try and make it different than it is. I don't want to be like this darkness that is really about finding the light and the light is behind. Like, I don't want to do that to you because I feel like that's what you've been not resonating with in other readings. I feel called to get this is the other new one I got. It's just the Healing Waters, also by Rebecca Campbell. I'm just gonna let this flow where it's going, which of course I would, but I'm struggling to not try and mold it into like a more pleasant message, but I'm just gonna let it be exactly as it is. Yeah, like I just want to say to you, like, I'm here with you. Like, we're going to do this together because I don't feel like very many people would pick this pile, but I feel like the people who have picked it, you feel like no one understands what you're going through, but you also like don't care. Like, you're not looking for people to understand, you're just aware. And so you're kind of like, you saw this reading and you're like, I wonder if this reader would get what I'm saying or get what I'm feeling or be able to tune into the energy. Because of course I'm not going through what you're going through, although I do understand. That's very familiar a couple times in my life. But this is very personal to you regarding this Chamber of Forgiveness. I want to read you that card, but I also don't. Yeah, don't worry, like we're gonna get through this. I just really want to pinpoint what you need to hear. There's like some very specific messages trying to come through from like your guides and ancestors and your higher self. And they're projecting it to me, but then I'm like receiving it and I'm like looking at it and I'm like in my mind's eye and I'm like, how to say this in the way that, and then they keep saying like, no, like don't, just deliver it as is, which I always do. So it's like, I'm making it sound like like I manipulate the message or something. I would never do that. But I always would say it in my own tone. Of course, that's what the reader does. We communicate it through our own personal expression. But they're trying to ask me to just put it as much to brass tacks as I can, down to brass tacks as I can, without layering any of my own. That's why even my voice is like changed and my tone. Like usually I'm very light and funny, and well, I think I'm funny, but it's just, it's very different energy. So just bear with me as I try to give you this as authentically as I can. Let me just do what they're asking and read this Chamber of Forgiveness. They're just saying there's a few key messages. I just don't want to do it because I'm thinking you're going to think, oh, wow, I clicked on a reading and she just read from the book. Because, like, that's what I'm thinking. But I'm just going to do this. This is what's coming up. I'm not going to read the whole... Yeah, I am going to read the whole thing. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if this is the worst reading you've ever watched. I'm going to do my best to honor this. Okay. Chamber of Forgiveness. There's no question that it's through our relationships, both with ourselves and others, that we grow the most. Through the disappointments, betrayals, heartaches, and heartbreaks. That's what I feel like. I'm feeling that here. Through growing apart and the inevitability of change, through all of this we grow. The Chamber of Forgiveness reminds us of our innate innocence and of the need to keep our heart tender towards ourselves and others. I feel the resistance. Okay, to soften and humble ourselves in our humanness. When the heart hurts, it wants to shut down, harden, and close itself off from the world. This is a normal reaction to the ache that comes from being a human. The Chamber of Forgiveness is a card of heart healing and deep, deep compassion for yourself and others too. It invites us to find a way to keep our heart open through the hurt, the blame, the betrayal, the anger, and the shame. Not to shut down or close our heart over or harden ourselves from life. Our grief is evidence of how much we love, for it's impossible to live with an open heart and not experience hurt or grief. I'm just feeling like your guys' emotions are like so heavy. So like I feel you. Forgiveness has a mysterious timing and you cannot rush it. I love that phrase. Because I often feel that people rush us and themselves to forgive. But there often comes a day when after many tears have been shed and candles lit, the heart doesn't ache like it did before. We may find a softness in our voice where there was previously, oh my gosh, guys, sharpness and pain. This is the energy of the Chamber of Forgiveness. It's a process that's unfolding within us always. And if this card appears for you, then the chances are this process is intelligently unfolding within you too. Okay. This is emotional. Okay. So, like I said, I feel like this is the place that you're at. This feeling of isolation, walking alone, not really even understanding what's going on, but also understanding. And then I feel like this has to do with something that occurred. This could have been a long time ago, or this could be very present and recent. And I think one of the main messages that I took from that, I'm sure you've all taken your own things, and thank you, Rebecca Campbell, for these beautiful messages, is what I got is that not to worry about rushing yourself through this time, and also that it will happen and unfold intelligently, like it said, with a purpose. Your soul knows the pace at which this process needs to unfold and is best to unfold for you. And that's it for now. Okay, let's see if anything comes out from this deck that I felt drawn to earlier. I don't think we're going to get many cards for your pile. If you're not new here, you know I usually do a full spread, but I'm just not feeling that for you because I feel like the message is just very intense, and I know what the message is kind of already, that I don't need to pull a bunch of cards. I don't feel like that's... why did I do that? How strange. What card was that? Did you guys see what card it was? I'm going to pause this and look at that. Why would I do that? Why did I turn that over? It was so clear. One moment. Okay, I found it. It was this one. Now that is so strange because I have never done that before in a reading where I questioned myself, but there's something odd going on here. We're going to get to the bottom of this. Not odd in a bad way, just I have never experienced this type of energy in a reading. And so I'm navigating it very, like, it's so new to me. So after I saw that card flipped, and then I immediately felt like, no, I don't know. It's like something, I almost want to say interference, because it's like, it was just like, no, that's not it. But then I came through and I was like, wait, excuse me, like that is... like, that is it. What are you talking about? I will go back and find it. But what would the intention be for me not wanting to take it? Beneath the surface, what's really driving you? True motives breaking free. Okay. I wonder if this is something you don't want to hear. What's really driving you? True motives breaking free. I'm not sure, like, is there something going on beneath the surface that you haven't really looked deeply at yet, or you're not sure you want to, or I literally feel like I'm on the moon. Like I feel like I'm on a planet that I've never been on before, and I'm trying to navigate this energy. So I apologize. The reason I'm bringing that up is because I just feel like I'm doing an absolutely terrible job of this. Like, I want to be like, watch for my other readings. I'm really good. Like, because this is so terrible. Like, it's disjointed, it's stilted, I feel like I've effectively said nothing. I'm even questioning, am I even going to post this? The only reason I'm pushing through is because I knew it would feel this way, because that's why the whole point of the reading is that you haven't been able to find your messages, probably because they're not coming out easily. So it's like a very different energy to navigate. So I don't know, they just haven't been coming through to any other channels, or I'm not sure. But I want to do this with you. Message of love. Okay. And let's get one more. I'm so cold. Are you so cold? I'm physically freezing. Like my feet feel like ice blocks. What's really driving you? True motives breaking free. No. I have zero influence over this reading, but I'm loving it. Okay, what about this? Message of love. I just feel like your spirit guides and your ancestors are like just coming through trying to like wrap you in these arms of love, but I feel like as I'm saying it, like it's not reaching you. Or like you're like, I don't care, which is fine. Or you're like, where were you then when I needed you? Like I want to say like it's a dark, it's such a heavy energy, but it's also not. It's like, it's so pure. Like it's so authentic. Like it's that feeling of when you're in grief and you're just like, you know, like wearing your sweats and you look haggard and you're just not making any, you know, you don't care, you know, like you just, it's so raw and authentic. It's raw, but it's not pleasant to people. So people want you to mask. Like I have this theory about, like, this is an unpopular opinion, but I'm just going to share this. But this, I think, is an example my guides are giving me so that you get that I think I understand what's going on, what you need to hear, or what message is trying to come through. Not even what you need to hear, just what message is trying to come through. It's that, like, I have this feeling that, you know, one day, like, I've lost people close to me, like quite a few, like we all have. But when there's certain people in my life who transition, if I'm still walking the earth as this incarnation, I don't think I'll be able to go to the funeral. You know, because to me, like, this funeral, it's like a man-made, you know what I mean? Like, we have to do it, and and then everyone wants to say goodbye, and you're supposed to speak, and I'm just like, there will be none of that, like, because I will be completely, like, a mess, and not wanting to speak to anyone, let alone go in public and put on clothes. You know what I mean? Like, that are appropriate for public. Like, I want to be wearing whatever I'm wearing, sweats, and, like, just, I don't know, like, I'll just be so out of my mind with sadness, you know, that I'm not gonna care to show up for the expectation of showing up for a funeral. Am I making this make sense? Now, of course, I also know that at that time it will be different, and I'll be in a frequency and an energy that blah, 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 and I'll probably show up. But when I think about it, that's what I think. And I feel like, and it's kind of just like this, leave me alone, because like, let me have these feelings, like, let me process this, because this is something a lot of people don't understand, or will have never felt, and I just feel like the message trying to come through is that that's okay, that you're completely right and justified in that, and that there's no rush, This will process in its own time. I don't even want to tell you like, oh, you'll be feeling great better later and it'll lift and it'll be transformative. Like it's not the appropriate time to say that. That may be the case, but that's not what this reading is for you to hear. Because you already know that, but that's not the point. The point is, it's almost like, I want to say like permission to feel what you're feeling, but I feel like you already are, because I feel like you have like almost this anger about it that's so justified. You know what I'm saying? That it's just like, you're like, I don't need your permission anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't need my permission anyway. But it's, or like, anyone to say, oh, you're so, it's okay to feel this way. It's like, you don't even need that. You know that. You're taking it, you're taking what you need. So then what is trying to come through? I think it's just acknowledgement. That's what I feel like it is. It's an acknowledgement. It's just to confirm that you've been seen. And for some of you, there were some other words and phrases in the things that I read from these two cards that also helped. But I don't think you're really looking for much or needing much. It's just, you just wanted a glimmer of recognition about what you're going through, and that you're seen. Not like, it's not necessarily by me, but by like the field of consciousness and the universe at large, and this message of love coming through from your guides and team. I am curious about this beneath the surface. Beneath the surface, I said. Okay, this says, releasing expectations. Only the highest possibilities come to be, whether I envision them or not. I just feel your irritation at that card, which I also feel right now. Because I don't know specifically what happened, but I can sense the energy you're in. And that just sounds like so ridiculous. No offense to this card. Like, this is a great deck. It's just, it's all relative, right? Given what you're processing. Like, what is that even, how is that helpful? It's almost like, I don't know. It's almost, what is going on here? It's almost triggering, that card. So why would it come out? I'm going to get you an angel tarot, because I'm kind of at a loss for what else to offer you here. I still feel like I'm failing this reading. Is that how you're feeling? Like, I feel like a failure. Like, I feel like I had a mission. I was so stoked to do this and get you guys your messages. I felt completely confident to do so. And I feel like the reading is just falling apart. I don't feel like I'm producing the desired effect. I feel like a failure. I feel lost. I feel like I'm super in your guys' energy. So maybe this is a better way to do this, to channel what I'm picking up on. I feel lost, like I don't know what to pull, which card to go to. I don't know how to help. I don't know how to get your answers. I don't know how to make an impact in your field. And maybe that's the message Oh, yeah, now releasing expectations looks different. Now I'm reading that differently. Are you? Now I'm feeling like just let it all, like release all expectations of this reading, of yourself, of your process, of the healing, of how others are going to be responding and reacting. It's kind of like a letting it all settle to the bottom. Like I'm seeing like I don't know, like a lava lamp or something, not even a lava lamp, but like some sort of sand fidget or something that has like water plus like sand in it, and just letting like turning it and letting it all settle to the bottom till like there's no more to process. And there's something about that being what you need to hear. Is there anything else I can help pile 3 with? Yeah, I keep hearing don't rush. It's so interesting because I keep hearing the messages that I mistakenly am thinking is for me for the reading, but I'm realizing it's for you also. Don't rush, because that was in the Chamber of Forgiveness card. It's almost like I feel like you don't even need anything from me. You just need me to sit with you and acknowledge this that you're going through, and not try to fix it, not try to change it, not try to provide anything, not try to move anything within you. That's really what I feel like it is. You don't want me to move or activate anything within you because you just want to be left to authentically experience every ounce that you're feeling as is. And when you're ready, and if you're ready, and like that's a whole other conversation about blah blah blah, but we're not talking about the blah 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 right now. That comes later. And we're just talking about being here in this moment with you as you are, and acknowledging this is part of what is, and it's okay, and it doesn't need to be changed or molded or transformed or alchemized or anything right now. It just needs to be let to be without expectation what it is. And now I'm understanding this beneath the surface card, what's really driving you, true motives, breaking free. I'm reading that now differently too. Now that there's an acceptance about everything and I've surrendered to what the energy is, I feel like perhaps for some of you, that's the message. Perhaps you do feel like you need to keep getting up, showing up, doing, you know, meeting the expectations, putting on a certain face or persona or mask or whatever for whatever this grief and darkness is that you're experiencing. And perhaps what's driving that is public acceptance or social, conditioning. And this message is just kind of saying, you're covered in love, whether you can feel that or not. And if you want, you can break free of that expectation. Yeah, now this makes so much sense. This releasing expectations. I really read that differently. I read that how you were reading it too when it came out, like just and breaking free of this other layer somehow. I don't even want to use too many words, like, because I feel like it would just dishonor the reading somehow. But I also want to say enough that I'm providing something here. But I feel like just breaking free of that and allowing the night to fall there's so many words, like I have so many words that I don't feel like it's appropriate to I want to say bother you with, basically. Like I want to say, look at this figure. She's so, they're so strong and they're walking through this night and they're working towards the light and soon this eclipse will move and the sun will come out. Like, I just feel like it would be so, I don't know, just not appropriate for what you're experiencing. I hope that makes sense. It's just not the time to try to push you out of this at all, or influence, or encourage. It's just not the point of the reading, this particular reading. It's not the point. The point is to be here with you, allow it to be, acknowledge what you're going through, respect what you're going through, tell you that you've been seen by me and by the spirit world, because I'm not the point, by your ancestors and your spirit team, that there's a message of love coming through. You can allow this, all of these feelings and emotions and everything to settle and just be exactly as you are, authentic, raw, experiencing what you're experiencing it, and trusting in the timing of the other aspects that will come through when they're ready to come through, and trusting in the intelligence of your soul to know the details of all of that. And that is the completion of this reading. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me. Like I said, I'm so sorry for what you're going through, first of all. And I wish I could have done better for you here. So all I can do is hope that something was helpful. And I don't want to even say any more spiels here. Just, I see you, I'm with you. I appreciate this connection that we made here. And I will be thinking of you. I can tell you that. I will be thinking of you and your energy after this reading, and sending as much anything that I can your way. Okay? Hi, Pile 4. Thank you so much for being here. I'm actually filming you second for some reason. You chose the golden thread with this crystal. So let's find out what messages want to come through that you just haven't been able to, nothing's been resonating for you for some reason. Let me just get this deck. Okay, let me not. Oh, these readings are so wild. It's just like everything is so different. I feel like I'm navigating like the moon, I said in pile 3. Okay, let's get this. What does pile 4 need to know that they haven't been able to, they haven't come across yet for some reason, or hasn't been able to be expressed in the way that they need it to be, to hear it? Oh, what am I doing? I didn't even read your book. Okay, first I wanted to read from the guidebook. So the golden thread reads, your soul had a dream to be here now, in this body, on this planet, at this time. And you have everything you need to realize your soul's destiny in every moment of every day. The golden thread is the path of your destiny. The golden thread holds the potential of all that was, is, and could be. The golden thread of your life is always available to guide you every step of the way towards your soul's deepest dream. The golden thread is woven throughout all of your life experiences. It doesn't always make sense, but with time and perspective, you can see its intricate weavings glistening back at you at the center of your life. It's never too late to follow the golden thread of your life, and you can never be too old, for the golden thread of your life is always within your reach. Whatever your soul is calling you to do will lead you to your golden thread. Wherever wherever you most feel connected with the great spirit of life is where you'll find your golden thread. This card is here to remind you that your soul came here with a plan, a dream to be brought to life. It's time to say yes to that now. And the soul inquiry is, what's your soul's greatest dream and how can you act on it now? Okay, I get the vibe here right away, which is a relief because I was struggling in pile 3. So you may not have been resonating with anything because you may not know what you would resonate with. Does that make sense? I feel like it's like I feel like you don't feel a greater sense of purpose or calling, or you kind of suspect what it is, but it's not been confirmed. Or you're not even sure if you believe in that, if we're just kind of here to, do whatever work and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, for pile 4, please. What do they need to hear? There's just this sense that okay, this is so challenging to communicate, but I'm up for the task. This is the reading that I chose to do, and I'm excited for it, regardless of how it seems. The golden thread. Okay, so what I was hearing was you may feel as though you don't have any purpose. Like I already said that, but you may feel as though it's almost like you don't feel like special enough or something. This is like the opposite of the phrase, the chosen ones. You feel like the last chosen. Like you're just like, I'm not that special. I'm just here doing this. I'm not like those other people who have this great calling. I don't even know what it is. And I also don't feel like I would be that special. Because it's like, this is so hard to communicate. Because it's not like anyone is special. You know what I mean? Like we're all unique, but it's not like anyone is better or whatever than anyone else. But I feel like you have the sense that you are less than for some reason. Or like not, I don't feel like you have a sense of any greater purpose of why you would be here. Like this is you I'm reading. Like you may watch other people or spiritual, whatever, blah, 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 and be like, wow, that's really cool. Like that must be so, rewarding to know exactly what you want to do and how you're helping people. But that's just not me. That's not my path. I've never had anything calling me. I've never felt drawn to anything in particular. I don't have any particular special gifts. I kind of thought it might be this, but that didn't go anywhere. I kind of thought it might be that, but that didn't go anywhere. But it's like, I'm getting the sense that your soul's purpose, it's just so unexpected. Like the common ones might be like for me, it's like I want to help other people, tune into their inner world and receive messages. It's kind of like a general one from the field that are trying to reach them to help them on their path, right? Guidance, advice, insights, support, encouragement. But yours is like so unique and different. I don't think it's ever been written or expressed ever. Like there's not many doing this thing. And if you've picked this pile, you don't all have the same thing. It's like each of you, it's this specific unique thing. Let's see what else we can get here. So if that's resonating for you, then then you're in the right place. Yeah, see how this is what I'm seeing. See how these golden threads are coming out, but they're all golden threads, but they're all unique. They're different, separate. That's what I'm seeing. Like the people who picked this pile, you all have this like very unique coded purpose. It's not, okay, I get it. Oh, I get it. Oh my gosh. I feel like I'm gonna cry. It's the weirdest feeling. It's like my heart chakra just like erupted. Okay, let me capture this so that I can say it in a second. None of you has one, none of you who chose this pile has one continual, specific, consistent purpose. Your purpose is actually in these multitude of connections and interactions that you're weaving through different people's lives and experiences. And that's why you feel you don't have one specific purpose, because you don't have one specific purpose. Your specific purpose is these multi-layered, multifaceted purposes. It's these it's threads. It's like these energetic threads that you're holding the needle and you're weaving it through each of these interactions. And it could be the most, and of course we all have that, we're all doing that to some extent, but you guys have like this particular specific coded inner, I want to say like structure, but it's much more flexible than structure, like like direction. And that's why you may feel like, oh, I tried this, I tried Reiki, and that I was only into it for a little bit, and then I was a card reader, and I was only into it for a little bit, and then I felt called to be in the corporate world, and then that didn't resonate. It's because each of those things had a purpose for that particular interaction with someone else or with something else. It could have been even your interaction with a concept, where you brought it to a new place. These messages are so unique. It's like I haven't even been getting cards. I've just been channeling. It's very hard to express this concept. You'll look back when you're, back in your soul, like in just your soul. I don't know how to say that in a nice way, but very far from now, when you choose to leave this earth, you'll look back, and when you see the replay, then you'll get it. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, it was like that and that. It's like millions almost of interactions and impressions. It's impressions. That's what it is. These like little threads where that is your purpose, to lay the thread. You're the weaver. You might have gotten a pile. They're showing me this reading from, was it my last reading or two ago? And that pile got the weaver and then the unbound and then something else about weaving. It was, the whole pile was about threads. And you could have a message there or be from that group, because it's a somewhat similar energy, but I'm reading it in a completely different way. It's presenting in a completely different way. Okay, now that we've understand kind of what's going on here, can we have more messages for pile 4? Yeah, I heard you are not lost. Do you feel lost? I feel like you feel lost and like, but also like fine. You're fine with it. Not lost like, and you're upset. You're just like, I don't get what I'm doing here, and I don't see the purpose. So I'm just gonna like get on with it and do my best, and that's it. But your purpose was there the whole time. It's just it's like, okay, oh, this is so weird. I don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. This is so weird. You know a cheese string? I'm so sorry. Like a cheese string? It's like a snack children have, and it's a big hunk of cheese like this, and then you can peel it into these like like hundreds of threads, like cheese strings, but you can go like as thin as you want, and then you can make like 100 or probably more like little tiny cheese strings. It's like some people's purpose in life is just the one cheese string, and there's nothing, it's not better or worse or anything like that. It's not what I'm saying. It's just different. It's just that we're conditioned mostly to have this one cheese string. Like, what are you going to be when you grow up, type of thing, right? And even in the spiritual community, we tend to do that. Like, oh, you're a sound healer. Oh, you're a channeler. Oh, you're, and it's like it's rarely that, clear, the lines, but for the most part, we all kind of like stick to that, with some flex. But your purpose was to take the cheese string and shred it into these fine mini cheese strings. Like, I'm aware of what I'm saying, but I can't stop because I feel like it's just so perfect what I'm trying to describe. And your effect is so multi-layered, but we're both dealing with cheese. It's just the way that your soul interacts on this plane is weaves in and out on all of these threads and interactions with people and situations and concepts. And that's why you're actually drawn to all these things, because your soul actually is needed to make that impression on that concept or person or thought. Like, it could even just be you interacting with a thought structure and molding it and understanding it and perceiving it in a way that it hasn't been understood before, and then you actually reshape that energetic structure and then put it back out into the field, and then it reaches the next person, the inventor, who is going to carry that to fruition, or the like they're showing me like a judge or a public defender, and then that thought reaches them and they're like, oh, they have this eureka moment for how to handle something, more harmoniously. It's really wild. I have never thought of this before in my life. I almost feel like you had this thought about this reading and then put it in the field, and then it came to me. You dig? Like, that's wild sauce. Wow. Did you comment below if you had this thought for this reading and I found it in the field and then brought it through? Because you may be like, I'm not a card reader, I don't have a channel, but I had this idea, and then you put that thought concept out and it reached me. And to others. I'm sure other readers are going to find this. Sometimes when we all get the same, some of us get the same, if we're on the same frequency, we get the same video idea at the same time. Okay, we have one card out for, I'm so sorry. I hope that I'm making up for it in epic cheese metaphors. Okay, let's get some more for pile 4, please. Don't leave me here with a one card spread like a freaking chump. For pile 4, please. Ascension. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I'll hold that up for you. There's wings on this hand. And what else? Okay, I heard not this deck, not this deck. Someone said it like that. Okay. Like, some of you, I could see some of you being like, how to like lucid dream or things like this, but like you're just chill about it. Like, you achieve things that like mystics might try to do that, struggle with, but you're just like, well, I don't know, I just was able to do that. Like, I feel like you're very adept at interacting with different concepts and structures and kind of like quickly mastering it, and then you kind of like exit that paradigm. Like, you want to go see it, then you come out of it. You enter the cheese string and then you leave that cheese string. This is really unique. Okay, I guess we're taking this deck because I just found it in my hand. I'm channeling so heavily, like I'm in my mind's eye, that I'm not really aware of my 3D reality here. What else for pile 4? Yeah, okay, so the Ascension card, because I'm hearing, what about the Ascension? I'm hearing to go beyond, Okay, so your purpose is to go beyond with concepts and interactions and structures what others typically would, but this comes naturally to you. You may resonate with like disruptor energy or challenger energy or revolutionary archetypes. Like you could be the one, like you may be really into conspiracy theories and stuff, not because you really feel strongly tied to anything, but just because the way that your brain works, you're constantly, and the way your energy and your soul works, you're constantly, like I've seen like this globe or this circle that I'm constantly looking at from all directions and kind of analyzing and curious. You have this curious nature about like, well, what if that could have happened, or what if we look at it this way, or it could have been, and da 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 da. Like it's explorer energy. Like everyone was like the world is flat, and then you're like the world is round, and then you're like the world is flat. The world, like you keep going with it. Your purpose is to go beyond. I don't want to say above. It's not that you go above anything like ascension. It's this you go beyond thought, concept, structures, and paradigms. And even if it's just in thought form, you leave a concept or a thought. So people may call you a dreamer. You may spend a lot of time either in meditation or just chilling, like sitting out in nature, or just, daydreaming essentially. But you're pondering things. If people really knew what you were pondering, they would be blown away. And I think this message is coming through, I think, to put words to what you're feeling and give you that like clarity of purpose. Not that I feel like you need it or want it, but I think there's a curiosity about it. Like you're like, And then to give it some form and structure, but not too much, but also so there's more awareness about what you're doing. Because I think if you had that awareness, then you would perceive different interactions differently. Like you would perceive it as like, what can I learn here? What can I offer here? How can I, is there anything needed here that I can offer, that I can provide or express that would help and support this situation or person or concept or theory or thought or structure or paradigm? And I think, I don't know if maybe you knew about the thought thing, because that was new to me too. Like I knew that cerebrally, but I've never like expressed it. And that makes a lot of sense, where you may think, oh, I'm wasting my time by doing this or daydreaming or, analyzing this. Because it's not analyzing in a negative way. Like it's not overthinking something. It's just looking at something from all different perspectives and seeing like if there's anything else that can be added onto it. Or it could be expanded in any way or flexed into any way that makes it more essentially, for the next person who picks it up. And I think maybe just you needed, because I think you're really underplaying your importance in this matrix, in this structure, in this world. And I think this message just wanted to reach you because your guides are like, you don't know what you're doing. Your impact is massive. It's massive. I'm so sorry I don't have more cards for you. Pile 3 was the exact same way, but a completely different message. But hardly any cards came out. Let me see if any of these come out. It was more channeled. Okay. 2 came out here. Oh, how interesting. Okay. The Healing Lagoon came out. Rejuvenate, recovery, time to heal. It's safe to stop. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then Gentle Force came in. Consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. Consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. Okay, so let's go with the Healing Lagoon first. Rejuvenate, recovery, time to heal. It's safe to stop. So if you needed to hear, because after I've communicated this message, you may be already approaching your current life circumstances. You may be thinking like, okay, well then, if that's the case, I no longer feel compelled to continue in this role or identity or job or relationship, because I feel for some of you, not all of you, because I feel like some of you didn't go that path. But for some of you, I feel like you're trying to make something fit that's not. And that's been driving you crazy. Because you're like, if I let this go, like say this job, like say you have an identity as a specific role, but you're not resonating with it. You only are kind of sticking to it. This is just only if this is true for you. You're only sticking to it because, you feel people are watching, and maybe people are like, you never finish anything you start, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh my God, I have to just keep doing this because I can't let everybody down. I went to this school for this and now I just have to do it. I'm stuck with it. I don't know what your regular 3D reality would look like. I have no idea. Like, I'm as confused as you. Quite perhaps you could hold down, a regular 9 to 5, without too much, like knowing that your role is this, then you might perceive those everyday interactions with coworkers and clients and concepts, in this new way, and see that your role is there. But if you are feeling your soul calling you out of that, then I would say that's a message here. It's safe to stop, rejuvenate, recovery, time to heal, because it's quite possible you've been going like full tilt on a hamster wheel towards the pursuit of something that, this social construct made you feel you had to. But like I said, I don't have the answer in this reading for what you're supposed to do instead. I would go, that's going to be unique to each unique thread here. I would suggest, my general vibe that I'm getting is something way more flexible, where like, maybe a business, I know this sounds not flexible, but like a business, what is it? Like, not analysts, but those people who go in and say, let me look at your situation. Like people who go in and look at YouTube channels and say, oh, here's what I would recommend. Like, that's just an example I'm giving. But they do that for multiple things so that it's fresh and it's new every time. Or people who go in and look at business structures and say, here's where the holes are. Here's where it can improve. Here's where the concept, like, you're a visionary type of energy. So it could be that if you're not already doing this, you would thrive in that type of environment that's more conducive to dipping into certain threads and dipping out. It could be something super creative. I would just say get comfortable with things shifting and changing, and that being your nature. If this is resonating for you, I would just say that that's your nature, instead of trying to make one thing be pleasant and satisfying and fulfilling for a lifetime. That's not the energy I'm getting in this pile. So allowing yourself to recover, rejuvenate, to heal from maybe a hustle mentality or a lot of pressure or kind of like grinding type of energy that you may have been conditioned to feel was necessary or required or expected. And allowing yourself to like sink back into these turquoise healing waters and let this integrate this information and kind of reset. Okay, like, so now how would I move in this world given this new information? And then you have this gentle force, consistency, persistence, patience, the long game. I feel like this is coming out because this type of energy, your type of personality, like I said, you might be very I resonate with this because I have the disruptor energy at times. It can be very not accepted right off the hop, because anytime you challenge the norm, most people will say, no, that's not how we do things. No, that's not going to work. No, you're wrong about that. And there's something here about not feeling the need to be too loud or, assertive or pushing your concepts. Because, for example, you could be like literally a genius. Many people here, I would say you're like, would mark as a genius on whatever genius tests we have. I don't know. But I feel like some of you have some concepts that are just out of this world, that like, no, you're like light years ahead. And so this gentle force, it's about how water slowly, dripping can create the erosion through a stone. And as you continue to just be persistent and patient with your knowledge of things, especially if you have a specific thing that you're like an innovation or an invention, or something like this, like a renewable, energy source, or something that people are just like not on that page yet. It's just encouragement that some of these things, say just your life, say the way that you choose to live your life is just not accepted by your family. Some of these things you're just going to have to be rooted in your own consistent, patient persistence, knowledge of who you are, and trust that over time it will, be accepted or be heard or be seen. And the thing is, it might never, and I want to say that shouldn't matter anyway, but of course it does matter sometimes because we want to be accepted and loved and all of these things, right? But I think that's just a gentle encouragement there to not give up, to not change your position just because it's not accepted right away. I don't think you would anyway, but it's like I said, it's an encouragement or a confirmation that you're doing the right thing by following the path that you and the line of thinking that you feel called to and strongly to, and that you feel firm in your convictions about. Wow, a 4-card spread. It's the least I've ever had in a reading, but we got a ton of messages. I hope this resonated for you and that I was able to get you the resonance that maybe you haven't been able to find about this particular theme or concept. If so, I'm honored. I'm honored either way to have performed this reading for you. Feel free to comment and share. I love hearing from you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you did feel drawn to another group, I will see you there shortly. And if not, I will see you in another reading on another day. Bye.